Dark mode. Dark mode. Back to work.
Down in the Tennessee.
Vol Nation, welcome to Rocky Top.
Oh, hi, come on in, take a seat.
Hey, it's Thursday. It's 8:30 God's time. Let's talk a little Vols football, shall we?
Oh, it has been a while
Been a minute.
since the internet has looked this damn ugly. It's been a minute. It's been a hot minute since we've been on. We've been away the past 2 weeks. Welcome to this week's edition of the Very Orange live stream. I am your co-host, Super Genius Wiley, alongside my brother in arms,
Young Brandon. Here to fuck shit up.
and as always, we are coming from 1998. I am broadcasting from 1998 Championship Drive here in Knoxville, Tennessee, while Brandon is working it down in the boogie.
Chattaboogie, that is. And
right.
if you'd like to join us, check out our link right here down below. Come find us on YouTube. There's our StreamYard link. Come on, talk, leave comments, whatever you like.
So it is time for November has become Bulldog Abuse Month.
Yep.
We just got through neutering the maroon doggies, and now we get to go whoop up on the silver britches in
The ones that
Athens.
don't know how to spell dog.
Damn straight.
Let's talk about the game that you and I both witnessed there. There might be a little video I took at the end of this broadcast. Show it off.
I mean, defensively, we looked good. We got 2 turnovers. We got a lot of pressure on Mississippi State's quarterback. They were able to get a few long runs on us. I mean, the last couple of weeks, that's probably we've got some stuff to shore up defensively because we have not defended the run.
You can't be on the field that long and not give up a few.
As well as we did not defend the run the past 2 games as well as we had. We still have not given up more than 20 points this season, which I think is just astounding.
Yeah. What is it like? It's like 13. Our average is like 13
Yeah,
points.
and see that, and if Georgia can't run the ball for more than 1.8 yards per rush, then they ain't gonna be scoring 20 either.
No.
So Nico being pulled was a little bit of a
A little
concern.
disconcerting.
He's still, I mean, Gaston did fine. He wasn't spectacular, but he managed the game well. He got the ball in the hands of the right people.
He was better than I thought he would actually be.
He didn't. Yeah, he definitely did. He definitely did not. He did nothing to lose that game for us. He did what he came in and did what we needed him to do.
Right.
Nico is still listed as on the injury report as questionable. They just released right before we came on air. They were just released. Go Vols 24/7 released the most recent injury report, and Nico is still listed as questionable. So's Dante. Tyree West is off the injury report, which means he's going to play, and we're going to need him. We've got to keep that. We need our D-line rotation to be as intact as we possibly can have it, because we're going to need all them boys. As
Outcast once said, so fresh and so clean.
Exactly. So I mean, we did what we had to do. Secondary played fine. They've been consistent. The D-line did what it needed to do when it needed to do it. We generated turnovers. We picked the ball off once. We picked up a fumble.
That beautiful touchdown pass to Dorton was just,
there was the one, the squirrel was pretty cool too.
Squirrels was good.
Squirrels was good too. The thing that continues to kind of dog us. Yeah, I know. Samson needs to hold on to the ball. I mean, it's he fumbled the ball third game in a row, and we've got to have him hold on to the ball, because with Deshaun Bishop out again, he's out again this week.
Those are for Paul Feinbaum, by the way.
We've got to
consider Dylan Sampson an elite back in the SEC, or in the top 10 even. So
when did that bald bastard say that?
Within the last couple of days, I just read it. Yeah,
he's the only back in the league with 1,000 yards. Paul, yeah. Dude,
yeah,
get the hell out of get the hell out of Birmingham. At least get the high ground. Get to some place where you can get some,
I'm telling you, this is a warning.
Objectivity, okay? Bama and Auburn days should be over for your ass. I mean, you're supposed to be legit now. The kid is the only back in the conference with 1,000 yards. He's got more touchdowns than anybody.
What's he at?
He's easily right now statistically the number 2 back in the country behind Ashton Johnny.
Yeah.
I mean, just please.
Like I said, this is a good FDA. Before that moron gets in charge of the FDA. Let me just post this warning. If you've got a bald head like Mr. Feinbaum and you don't wear any kind of head protection, he is a clear case of bad shit happening to your brain when those two things occur.
He been dropped on that dome. I bet he did a few too many keg stands when he was at UT and just got dropped on his head.
Perhaps.
Shit, man. I mean, that just the statistics say otherwise.
Yes, they do.
They do.
Yes,
I'm sorry.
Do.
I'll do different to Mr. Feinbaum, because Paul. I usually agree with just about everything Paul says.
Yeah,
that
I
one,
must say 75-ish%.
that one kind of, well, but that's a
But
high number.
does
That's
he
a
get
high
it
number.
wrong
I
in
mean,
that fourth?
that's just, you know,
Bad.
the stint, there's this massive stench on that one, dude. Seriously.
So I had this question, kind of put a cap on things here. Not one of those Gen Z caps, but an actual cap. Uh, we've done this in a couple of games. So we beat them by, where are we at here?
Well, you're talking about
It's
state
33 to 14.
19.
It's
We've been by
19
we've been
points.
about 19. If we
We could
if
have
we
scored again.
yeah, if we'd scored again, we'd have covered. The line was 25.5.
We could have scored again. However, they chose with there's about 35 seconds on the clock, and they just kind
Well,
of ran
Levy and Hyper are buddies, and Hyper didn't want to piss off his friend. I mean, so you know.
So that's my question. If you were behind the wheel, so to speak, do you go ahead and score another touchdown? I'm taking take out any kind of old school. You don't want to make the other team feel bad.
I definitely would have run another play, at least another play.
Good. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I don't know that I'd have been throwing it in the end zone, but I probably would have run the ball a couple times before.
Spread out,
yeah, and just see what happens, because you had been gashing them pretty much all night. I mean, I think that 33-yarder that Sampson had was his longest touchdown run of the season. I'm
pretty
sure that because I mean most of his touchdown runs have been 20 and in. That's the first one outside the red zone. It's not his longest run. I think his longest run's like 59, but he didn't score.
Yeah. So I think we're in the same boat. At least try to score another touchdown.
Yeah.
Not to make that other team feel like shit, but I think some way this is going to matter to these playoff morons. And we're about to talk about that and get our shovel in the dirt on this playoff situation. So.
Fucking Texas ain't played nobody. I mean, even the one team they did play that was decent, they got their ass whooped. So, I mean, come on. Really?
This is true.
Really? And I sure shit don't want to be playing Indiana. Not right now.
Indiana doesn't bother me as much because
from a personnel standpoint, no. From a coaching standpoint, absolutely. Signetti is a damn good ball coach.
He's a good coach.
But I kind of feel for the guy.
Look at who they played, and all the teams they played are 5-5 and under,
except for Michigan.
No, Michigan's 5-5.
Oh, Michigan's 5-5. God,
yeah.
Where the hell am I?
That's their best win.
Well, they've got to go to Columbus in next week. Not this week, but the week after, I think.
So that's going to be a test.
Yeah, that's going to be the one. And even if they get by Ohio State, they still got to play Oregon.
Yeah.
In the title game. So I mean, I would probably take a prop bet on Indiana for Ohio State. I don't know that I'd bet a line, just because I don't know what the line's going to be. I have a feeling it's probably going to be 10 points, just because Indiana's still. This is rare. This is completely virgin territory for Indiana, and they're walking in at Ohio State. And
before this year, they've been god awful.
Yeah, they've been mediocre at best. Yeah, that's probably. But BYU, I mean, in Indiana, I don't know if up until Michigan, and
BYU's a joke, dude. I don't know why
get
they
that.
jumped us.
I don't get that. They barely survived Utah.
Here's some of my sign language.
Yeah, how exactly?
Screen.
How the hell are they? Yes, I know exactly.
It's a bull taking a shit.
Yes. I don't get how they're. I mean, do I think they should be in the top 12? Yeah, I mean they're undefeated. That's obvious, but I mean they haven't played. They haven't played anybody.
And they damn near lost to the Utes.
Yeah, they probably should have.
I would put.
I still don't know where that holding penalty came from. Have you seen the highlights of that game? The end of that game?
Yeah, where they were given the.
They were backed up in the end zone. It was fourth down. Quarterback throws the ball away because he's about to get sacked. He manages to get it at the feet of a receiver, but they call holding on a quarterback would have been their left-hand side.
Yeah.
And I don't see it. I don't see how you make it look like a really just ticky-tack call. I don't know how you pull the flag in that situation. I mean, apparently this is the guy. These are, if you hear about what the AD from Utah said to the ref, because he basically said I'll tell you exactly what he said. He said, they were talking about how they wouldn't talk about anything. The refs are being unprofessional, and the AD from Utah is like, yeah, that's why you got fired for the Pac-12.
All righty. Speaking of ADs, that's why our friends in Indiana are ranked 5th. Yeah, I'm pretty sure of that.
Well, the
gentleman that's in control of this college football playoff ranking. Guess where he's the athletic director?
Indiana.
No.
Well, where?
Michigan.
Oh, Michigan. Okay.
Well, so he said, they beat Michigan. Well, good Lord, they must be great.
Well,
and here
you're in the second strongest conference in the country. Let's be honest. Second. Distant second. You're undefeated. You've ever never been behind all season, or you've only trailed in one game all season. You've only had one close game, the one you just won against Michigan, 20-15. I think for now they've rightfully earned their spot. Whether or not they're going to stay there is anybody's guess. I mean, they're going. I don't think
flip flopping with us.
I think they can. I mean, I think they can beat Ohio State. I don't think they're going to beat both. I don't think they're beating both Ohio State and Oregon.
Yeah,
I don't see it.
BYU, where do you put them in all this?
I mean, I would put them probably. They'd be below us. I mean, I'd probably put them where Notre Dame is, if I'm being honest, at the highest. It doesn't. I mean, SMU is their only real quality win all year, and they won that game by 3 points.
Yeah.
So it's just, you put BYU up against Georgia, hell no. You put them against Alabama, hell no. You put them against A&M, they're gonna get that ass stomped.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. It's Ole Miss will tear them up. I mean, so it's just you haven't.
These are my thoughts.
Played
and
the
I've
level of competition
waiting in the wings. So
that's commensurate to that ranking.
I think SMU should be around 10. I think they're playing good football.
I think they're going to end up in the Big 12 title game. Yeah.
Yeah. I think
The Big 12
BYU and
the Big 12.
Indiana. I'd go Indiana down to 6, us up to 5, BYU about where Miami is on here. And Miami, I don't know, either swap places with Bama or Ole Miss, something like that. But maybe
I still don't. In the other ranking, I don't get. I still don't know why Texas is third.
Yeah,
I don't.
I
mean, Georgia housing them in Austin, and then Georgia getting wailed on by Ole Miss did nothing to them. It did nothing to hurt them in the rankings at all.
Yeah. Also,
I don't, and that's just if strength of schedule and how the opponents you have played do is that big of a metric in considering who falls where, then Texas should not be in the top 3. They might be in the top 8, but top 3, no. I
disagree with that as well.
Yeah.
Of course, you know how I feel about these assholes. Throw a name up there while we're at it. All right, so overall, just give me a sentence or two. How do you feel about this championship ranking?
Well, I mean, I'm a little befuddled by it, and I really can't put my finger on why. Some of it makes sense. Oregon obviously deserves the spot that they're in.
Yeah.
I think Indiana has earned the spot that they're in, but Notre Dame, where they're at, I mean, and Northern Illinois being otherwise as terrible as they are. How can Notre Dame still have any credibility with that ranking?
They lost to NIU.
Yes,
I mean, sitting there at number 8.
I read something today that Texas's biggest quality win of the season was against Vandy.
I've seen that.
And that just, I mean, that was a little bit.
Not exactly wrong.
It was no, but it was still. It's odd, when you quality wins in college football and Vandy are kind of antithetical to each other, at least historically. You don't normally associate those terms with each other.
Not at all.
So I mean, I'm not. I'm a little befuddled. I guess the word would be unimpressed, because it just seems like a warmed over BCS. Honestly,
kinda.
Yeah, I did. That's just. I mean, you don't have that nebulous ranking percentage or whatever metric next to the team's name.
Yeah,
but it's still kind of weird. And honestly, historically, it kind of favors us because who won the first BCS national championship? That's right. So, and I get shit on all the time for being a guy who relies a lot on history. I'm like, let me tell you something. The one thing history doesn't do is history does not lie.
This is true.
It can give you false hope.
It really
does not. She does not lie. She does not lie.
So we've hit the playoff picture pretty hard. Let's take a step away from college football for a second.
Okay.
And, basketball season's getting ramped up. And I got to say, I like what I'm seeing. Even though I don't love them, I like what I see coming out of LA and our boy Dalton Connect.
He had a good game last night. He had 19 off the bench. He had the most minutes off the bench by far of anybody. He was 5 of 6 from 3-point range, and LeBron basically credited him with winning the game. He said, how did you guys manage to pull it? Yeah, he said, how did you guys manage to pull this tonight? He goes, well, you basically leaned on Dalton Connect. So, that I think that's a pretty substantial rub right there. I mean,
yeah.
So as long as he can keep consistent and play the game that he knows how to play, I think the kid's can be fine. Yeah. And Memphis, and as you said, we've talked privately before. The fact that Memphis didn't take him is going to end up being a huge mistake.
It hurts. Although Edie has done well.
He's done well.
I don't want to say
he's just kind of like a giraffe on ice out there, or a giraffe on skates out there. He's still figuring stuff. He's figuring stuff out. I mean, in his first game, didn't he have like 4 fouls inside 10 minutes or something like that?
Yeah,
it was some insane stat like that. Because I always told the joke that Zach Edey doesn't set picks or screens, he sets eclipses. Yeah, and refs in college were scared to call that shit.
Yeah,
and they're not going to hold back in the pros.
No, that was my next note. But to go back to the Grizzlies' opponent, LeBron did set a record, 3 straight games with a triple-double, the oldest to do that at 39, which I'm not a huge flop fan, but credit where credit's due. You got 3 straight triple-doubles, first person of that age to do that. So.
Well, you're talking to a guy who still thinks, Pete Maravich is probably the greatest guard that ever lived, and had
nothing wrong with Pistol Pete.
Had the 3-point line been a thing when he played, had been there when he played, he would be at the top of the NBA scoring list and not LeBron.
Yeah,
it'd be Pistol, because dude, I mean, everybody thinks Steph Curry is the king of 3-pointers. No. I mean, we never got to see what Pete could have done with a 3-point shot.
Literally,
I mean, it would
have
been.
I can't take anything away from Steph Curry either.
No, it's not. Well, Steph. I mean, and I'm gonna tell you a lot of shit for saying this. Pete Maravich's better ball player than Steph Curry. Steph Curry does not have the handles that Pete Maravich had.
No, he's not.
Very few people had the ball skills that Pete had. I mean, it just.
The closest modern day player or player within the last is
well, Jason Williams was close, but Jason Williams.
Oh, he was great.
Also, I don't think Jason Williams was probably as good a scorer as
he's more just getting it to another guy.
Yeah, he was more of a delivery system.
Kyrie, I don't know why I couldn't think of his name. If you sit and watch his games, he's damn good at getting that ball around his waist, whatever he wants to do with it. He's got handles. And our Grizzlies are doing well, I'll say. And what really gave me hope the other night was who was out? Morant and Jackson both were out, and they still beat the Hollywood game. I like to see that. I like to see a team when your all-star kind of caliber player is out, how you do. Of course,
how you going to come together and make up for that loss?
Yeah, we've been without Ja for several games now, so that's really not anything new. But with him, where I think a force to be reckoned with, he's just got to stay healthy. What else we got? Oh, in case you were wondering, anybody out there in the sporting world, the Rays, and I got to get to our guest here in just a second. Wanted to talk about the Jets, a little football, professional. But the Rays Stadium was destroyed, and
they will now be playing at Steinbrenner's place in Tampa. Which ironically, I'll give credit to a buddy of mine who actually lives in Tampa, Scott Blish, who is not watching the show. He's off probably playing trivia somewhere. But Scott made the point that the Rays have finally are playing in a location that's going to be, one, cheaper, and two, is actually close to Tampa. He's like, sure. He says, he's like, sure, there are going to be a lot of rain delays or rain outs because that's what you get that's what you get when you don't have a dome. But God forbid they play in a stadium that's one, economical, and two, conveniently located to most of their fans.
Yeah. Do you think this poverty-ridden team is going to move to Nashville?
I mean, they're saying that they'll be able to go back to their stadium by 2026, but I mean, is the problem is when the stadium was in good shape, they couldn't get anybody to go.
Yeah.
I mean, are they? I mean, even when the team was good and they, with Evan Longoria and those guys, and they were going to the series, when they were contending, the attendance wasn't great. I mean, Tropicana has been on the list of one of the 10 worst stadiums in the league for a long time. So I don't really understand if somebody can show me what the long-term feasibility of keeping that stadium alive and keeping that team in that place, for the next 10 years is, then I think the ownership should explore moving. I mean, and granted, I'm a homer. Would I like to see a Major League Baseball team in Nashville? Hell yeah, I'd like to see a Major League Baseball team in Nashville. I think Nashville's ready for it. I think Nashville's been more than ready for it.
Oh yeah.
For years now.
With that population explosion in the last 10 years, I think they could definitely sustain hopefully an American League team because
we've
got the Braves down below.
Yeah, I mean we've shown that we could that Nashville's shown that more than shown that they can support, tier 1 professional league sports. I mean, Predators came first and then the Titans showed up.
All right. Speaking of the Titans and NFL, big news today on the Jets front. Aaron Rodgers, when asked, will you return next season, the 2025 season, he said, I think so. Our esteemed guest here might have a few words about Aaron Rodgers returning to the Jets. Hey, Andy, what you got to say?
Can't hear you, bud.
I say, why bother? Why bother? Go retire. Go retire, and let somebody else take his place, and bye.
It's a lot having. What's he going to be? 41, 42?
Old.
Yeah, old. And
Go
I
ahead and
love.
tell him your theory on Mr. Rogers.
Oh, I think
You go next, Dren.
Okay.
Wiley.
I believe he was injured before he even set foot on campus. And once he got a feel of Giant Stadium, they call it MetLife, but it's still Giant Stadium. It's hard as fuck. It's very hard. And
We curse on here. It's all right.
Yeah, it's okay.
okay. I am from New York, so but yeah, I
What
just
are
think
you
he was.
fucking talking about?
So yeah, I believe that he was injured before he even stepped on the field. And when he realized that somebody was going to clobber him and ring his bell, he said, "Okay, it hurts now. Now it hurts because somebody clobbered me once, and I got to feel this."
I think the biggest irony of that entire situation is, Mike Williams gets cut for running a bad route during a game and forces Aaron to throw an interception, and then on Sunday he catches probably one of the best he runs one of the best routes and makes one of the best catches of the season for Russell Wilson in Pittsburgh. I saw that and I laughed. I'm like, hey, Aaron, I just wanted to say, hey, Aaron, how was that route for you? How'd you like that one? So
I read a commentary and they said that Woody just stop throwing money at the team and sell it. And when you look at how much they're worth, it's ridiculous how much the New York Jets are worth, and they're awful. They're awful.
Hey,
I try to watch a game and
talk to a Dallas Cowboys fan sometime.
Well, as long it probably would be a good idea for Woody Johnson to sell the team, as long as there's absolutely one person who's involved in New York sports that would be worse than Woody Johnson. That would be James Dolan. Do not let James Dolan get his hands on the Jets.
No.
That's up worse than anybody else, because the Knicks have been a dumpster fire up until the past couple of years. The Knicks have been a dumpster fire for a long time, especially since Dolan's taken over.
That's true. That's very true.
Well, thanks,
and I'm putting Rex Chapman on that.
Well, you don't have to run off. Any Yankees thoughts after how they did?
My father would still be. He still is a Brooklyn Dodgers fan. So, in a way, it's like, okay, we still hate the Yankees. So, in this household, we love the Yankees, but then again, I'm a true Met fan. I don't have any Yankee paraphernalia, but Mets, yeah. I was going to surprise you and wear a different one later.
All right.
Well, we are proud.
There you go. Have a good evening, sir.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Good talking with you.
All right. It's got to be rough. And the thing I hate the most is when a quarterback can dictate every single move a team makes like that.
I mean,
come on, you got to let your coaches coach. You got to let your defensive guys work with the defense.
Part of me kind of wants to go on a Denny Green rant. They are. He is who we thought he was. You knew what you were getting when you brought him in.
That's true. I mean,
did you not learn the first time you brought in an ex-Green Bay quarterback?
the hippy dippy
Seriously.
smoking peyote out in there, whatever. Speaking of former Jets, I'm moving us right along, baby.
Mhm.
I've heard a lot of rumors about Sam Darnold. And when Mr. Wolverine himself comes back next year for the Vikings, the Titans getting Sam Darnold.
It would be a good trade for us. I mean, the Vikings are pot committed.
Oh yeah,
I mean, they're in a no win situation if they can't keep, but they can't afford to keep both of them on the roster.
no,
Would I still rather have Hooker? Yeah, but that's me being a homer.
yeah.
I would rather have Hooker. But yeah, I mean, the question is, what are you going to do with Levis? What are you going to get for him? I mean, he's going to be coming into the end of his rookie contract. So, I mean,
So
if
do you
you
think
were going to cut him, I think probably most of his guaranteed money is probably already off the books
yeah.
by then. Yeah, what is he going to? I mean, if you trade him, is he going to be worth anything to anybody beyond a late round pick? Maybe maybe even something supplemental.
Yeah.
But I mean,
We're in a tough situation with him, is what I was gonna.
Excuse me.
I don't know if you just suck it up and cut your losses, because some of those mistakes he's made out there this year are just
Mind-boggling.
they're like high school kid
Yeah.
mistakes.
I
And
mean,
you're supposed to be in the damn NFL. And Darnold, I think we've seen that when he's on the right team.
well, I also
he's a
think
good quarterback.
I think it's a lot. It also has a lot to do with maturity level.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
you've seen a lot of these quarterbacks. You've seen quarterbacks who've gotten second chances, who've matured or gotten married and got all the wild shit out of their systems. And I mean, you've seen what happened with Geno Smith in Seattle. We've seen what with Baker Mayfield down in Tampa. I mean, they've just they realized that they had to grow up and fast. Otherwise, all that talent they had gone to waste. I don't know that's what's going on with Levis. But it's just it takes, not every rookie quarterback coming into the league is going to be a Ben Roethlisberger. Not every rookie quarterback coming into the league.
Right. And that's an NFL problem right now.
Yeah. I mean,
all these kids coming out of college are just pro ready, and they're not.
Thank you, friggin' Maurice Claret.
Bryce Young's in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't know what they're gonna. Well, as a matter of fact, I do know at least one quarterback. The Colts have changed their mind and are going back to Richardson
Because they've got too much money. It's the same issue with Levis. They're pot committed.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're going back to this season. They're sticking with
it.
It's so.
Yeah.
It's like
they've got the front office has got so much money invested in these guys that they can't justify letting them ride the bench. It just I mean, and that they've screwed themselves.
Pretty much. Which I would take if they're gonna they're just going to sit on Joe Flacco if it's all the same. Send him a little south because all that dude does is win football games.
Exactly. And honestly, I think Flacco's going to be one of these guys that's going to be a hell of a coach someday.
Yeah, probably.
I really get that vibe off of him. I mean, kind of like a Harbaugh, Frank Reich. Although Harbaugh never won a Super Bowl as a player. He came close to making it to the Super Bowl as a player, but he never won the Super Bowl as a player.
All right, so you answer this question for me.
Okay.
I'm setting you up for a little bit of softball here. Why have I put this up?
Well, Mikey fired most of his staff. He has lost. He recently had his 6th decommit from his 2025 recruiting class. His only quarterback, 4-star from Jacksonville, in the 2025 recruiting class.
It's so funny. It's so bad. It's funny. But
I mean,
then I think about Ethan and how he left the comment that isn't the greatest 4-4 team ever.
Well, I mean, look, God love Florida. This is one of the most brutal stretches that anybody has.
Oh, it's
coming
bad.
up. I mean, it's Texas. Who have they got? Have they got LSU this week?
Hey, I believe that is this week, LSU for them. My question is this.
Yeah.
Were they serious when they said Billy Napier would stick around? Will he indeed be there at the end of this season and into next season?
Well, they're going to lose their next 2 games.
Yeah,
they're going to figure out a way.
LSU, their quarterback.
I know. LSU is going to come in there super pissed off. They're embarrassed, and they should be. And then Ole Miss is going to come in there hotter than a damn firecracker, because you got to think about it this way: if Arkansas can figure out a way to beat Texas this weekend, and it's going to come down to Ole Miss. It's going to come down to Tennessee, and we can pull, and we win. It's us, Texas. It's going to be us, Texas, and Ole Miss. I mean, we win next 2 games, we're in. Period. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The rest of the guys can scramble any way they want to. You know, we beat Georgia. We beat Vandy. We're going to Atlanta, and then whoever's on the other side is whoever's left over of those 3 teams, because that's it. I mean, Ole Miss wins their game. Who's Ole Miss got this week? Let's see.
Who were they? They were playing.
I'm trying to see schedule. Here we go. Ole Miss.
Is that A&M?
No, Ole Miss has. No, they're off this week. Actually,
are they?
They've got they've got a week off, and then they're going to Gainesville, and then they're going to Starkville. So, I mean, it's if A&M beats Texas, it's pretty much, I think, over. But the crying, because they're number 2 in the conference behind us. And the reason why we're number 1 is because we're 5-1, 8-1, and they're 5-1, 7-2. So we win Georgia. We win Georgia's out. Alabama hangs on by the skin of their teeth, but I just don't see them
Yeah.
get. I just
I thought it was
I
so
don't see them
funny that,
getting in.
oh, this Bama team, they're playing Bama football,
Yeah,
giving us, zero credit for stopping them or playing any kind of defense against them.
I know. It's just so I
All right, just keep doing that, and then you're going to get punch drunk when we come in that ring. That's okay. Moving on. I'll get to some picks. I think I'm going to stick with the way we used to do things. Maybe not as in depth, but just kind of mention some games and talk about what we think. I think I like doing that better than just talking about.
the group picks.
Yeah,
No,
seems a little more better for the show. At
can't
least.
say that I disagree there.
Two things. Remember I was talking about Puig,
Mm-hmm.
Yasiel,
Yep,
as
please.
his friends call him. Would you like to guess? I mean, this was a story on the front page of ESPN. Would you like to guess where he's playing baseball these days?
Well, is he down in the DR, or is he gone to Japan or Mexico?
Not the Dominican Republic, not Japan, not Mexico. I'm gonna call that 3 strikes and you're out.
Okay.
He is in the South Korean League for the 2025 season.
Well,
How the mighty have fallen.
and let me tell you something. He ain't gonna be charging no mounds and going after pitchers in the South Korean League. He'd get that ass whooped.
Somebody will take out a sword, chop him in half.
Well, there's a reason why Taekwondo is the national sport of South Korea. Okay, I mean they don't fuck around down there, man. They'll tie him in knots and rip off different parts of his body that don't grow back if he messes with them.
Finally, before we move on to picks, sad news out of the NBA world. No one has passed away, but you probably heard that Greg Popovich was
had a stroke.
He indeed had a mild, was referred to as a mild stroke. So I assume he didn't have as serious of a stroke as it could have been, but we don't wish any ill will against Pop.
Yeah, I mean he's in.
Really anybody, but
next to Phil Jackson, he's probably the best modern coach.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he just considering the fact that he kind of came when he started coaching, he was known inside the league because he came from their front office because he was the GM and then he moved into the head coaching spot, and he's been consistent. I mean, he's been successful. They've won 6 titles.
Yeah.
So it may just be time for him to.
I think so.
Decide. I mean, you could be looking at a situation as walk off the court before you get carried off.
Yeah.
And I hate to say that, but
no, but I mean, I didn't look up how old he's. Like 80. Mm-hmm. Got a bit close to it.
Mm-hmm. He's most definitely in his 70s.
Yeah. So all the best to you.
He's 75.
75. So
he's 75.
He's close to that door of 80.
Yep.
And it's I've I've always seen that particular position, and it probably comes from growing up seeing, you know, the Pat Riley out there on the sidelines, and Bobby Knight. I've always seen that as the most stressful job in coaching, is coaching basketball. And those two dudes like epitomize the wearing a suit, face turned red. You look like you're about to have some kind of attack out there.
There's a reason why Jerry Tarkanian chewed on towels.
I just thought it was because towels tasted good. Am I missing something?
Better than screaming, I guess.
Apparently. All right, so let's talk about some of these picks. And I don't have them all nice and written out, but I have them written out on my notebook here. So the first game we're talking about, you got Texas at Arkansas. They're giving Arkansas 12 points. What do you think about that game?
I think it's a little bit of a trap game, maybe.
That sounds familiar.
I mean, well, Arkansas, there's nobody that Arkansas hates more than Texas. So if the casual college football fan does not think that this is not going to be a damn fight, you're in for a surprise. Can Arkansas win this game? Absolutely. I mean, if they can get after Quinn Ewers, and if the boyfriend of the girl he's been sexting doesn't get to him first. What an idiot. What an idiot.
There are pictures of buttholes.
How do you not know that shit how do you not know that shit can go public? Anyway. If they can rattle him and get pressure on him, I think there's a real possibility that Arkansas pull the upset. That being said, do I think Arkansas is going to win? Probably not. So, but I do think I will take Arkansas plus the 12.5.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I see this as more of like a 3-point game.
Yeah, I think it's going to be uncomfortably close for a long time. I think it's going to be a slog. Yeah. I think Arkansas is still embarrassed about what LSU did to them.
Yeah.
Or not all was LSU wasn't LSU was Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Well, LSU beat them pretty badly too, but Ole Miss really lose, and they've been off. They had a week off after that game, so they've had a week off to kind of lick their wounds and get back to it. So and I think if Sam has a real shot of hanging around after this season, and to keep, and I don't think they're going to fire Sam. I think they'll probably force him to retire,
go out on his sword, kind of deal.
Yeah. But if he has any plans to hang around, he's got to figure out a way to pull this one out. And because this is the rivalry game on. The league will tell you, no, it's Arkansas and Missouri. No, it's not Arkansas and Missouri. Arkansas dislikes Missouri. I mean, but compared to Texas, they don't give a shit.
Yeah,
this is the game.
Conference.
Well, no. Well, yeah, that SWC for Texas and Arkansas. I thought you were talking Missouri. Missouri was over in Southwest Carolina, the big 8. Yeah.
I think that 12 points is a bit too hefty for Texas. I hear children laughing. That must mean it's time to hang it up. Getting close.
Yep.
We'll be done soon enough. We've been at this an hour. So my timer says. Next one, I went more playoffy with these than just SEC. Penn State at Purdue.
Purdue's abysmal.
They are.
I mean, as much as I openly disdain the nitty gritties,
Yeah.
the nitty gritties. Yeah, there's Penn State will
But
we'll
do
stomp
you
them that hole
think
in.
Purdue is 28.5 points worse than PSU? You think? You think Penn State will cover?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could easily see that being a 30 plus point game.
Huh. All righty. Well, I'll move through these. This is the one I really had my eye on outside of conference. Boston College at Southern Methodist. They're giving Boston College 19.5 points.
Boston College has been.
Do you think O'Brien can coach these boys up enough to give SMU a game?
Is that game in Dallas or is it on Chestnut Hill?
They're at Dallas. They're at
in Dallas. So Boston College has been a little weird this year. I mean, they played really well. They played really well against Florida State, but then everybody's played really well against Florida State.
I got a Pee Wee League team that can do that.
So, but they have not done. They've been really kind of middling ever since that game. I mean, they played Florida State, and they haven't really. They've just been really mediocre ever since. I mean, they lost to Virginia by 10. They got doubled up by Tech. They lost Louisville at home. They lost Syracuse at home.
But see,
Castellanos is apparently leaving has quit the team. So their quarterback who basically won the game for them against Florida State is gone. So I don't even know who their quarterback is anymore. 19 points. I mean, O'Brien's a good coach. I don't think he's a miracle worker by any stretch of the imagination. So SMU has basically only had one really other than when they lost to BYU. Their opener was kind of tight, and Duke gave them all kinds of fits, but they've put up a lot of points on people this year, and I don't know that. Boston College is going to. I don't think BC is going to be able to hang with that. So, I mean, I could see this being like a 42-20 game, something like that. So, yeah, I am relatively confident in saying that SMU is probably going to cover that 19 points. I just don't know. I just don't know how Boston College is going to score.
Yeah, I'd forgotten. I heard something about that kid moving on, but I didn't know if it happened or because I don't keep up with Boston College. Right, fam? I don't keep up with Boston College.
We don't give a damn about the whole state of Massachusetts because we're from Tennessee.
Yeah, not particularly. I will say this because I wrote this down. Oregon is facing Wisconsin and is a 14-point favorite. Have you heard any rumblings about Oregon? The same rumblings that I have?
I've heard somebody say that they may have to get rid of Dan Lanning, but beyond that, I don't know why.
Not have to get rid of, that he is moving on.
Why?
The NFL.
I mean, I mean, now granted, Eugene is not exactly the most upscale of locations. It's isolated and I mean, it's pretty up there, or so I've been told. So it's not a terrible place to live, but you're kind of up there in relative isolation. You're out there in kind of relative isolation from the rest of the world. You don't know. And do you want to come back east? I mean, he's not. If Lanning moves on, there's not going to be, unless it's a USC or unless it's an Oklahoma.
Yeah.
What job is he going to want to take in college football? Now, he may decide to go coach in the NFL. I mean, there are going to be plenty of jobs in the NFL to open up.
Here are the teams looking that are going to be on the market without a doubt in my mind. Carolina, the most obvious one.
South or north?
The Carolina Panthers.
Oh, NFL Panthers. Okay, yeah.
Probably Jacksonville.
Maybe.
And I'm pretty certain New Orleans.
Yeah, they're good. They're going to want to probably.
They're not going to hire their interim.
No, even though they played pretty well against the Falcons this past weekend, but yeah,
they did. And I think there's still a team there. I think Derek Carr is a good quarterback. Does he make a lot of mistakes for a vet? Yeah, absolutely. But if I'm Lanning and I'm thinking about going to the NFL, do you know where I move to?
New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Yeah.
Major market, but not so big that you would be overwhelmed.
Plus, it's New Orleans.
Yeah. So we'll have to follow up with this. It makes a lot of sense if he did go to the NFL. Let's say he doesn't make the championship this year. Let's see. But going back, they got to play Wisconsin.
In Eugene or at Camp Randall?
At Camp Randall.
Okay, and you said 13-point favorite?
14.
Well, that's another situation. Oh, by the way, Trevor Etienne is out.
No shit.
Trevor Etienne has been ruled out. It broke about an hour ago. So
you're fucked in this game. We're about to talk about it.
Yeah.
And
anyway, let's see. Let me find it. Okay. 14. I don't know. Oregon has just not scored a lot of points against quality. I mean, they beat Purdue 52-6, but that's Purdue. Purdue's shitty.
Garbage.
They beat Rutgers. That's Rutgers. They beat Northwestern in Evanston, but that was, they only put 23 up there. In their four losses, the most they've put up is 21. They put up 21 against USC. I mean, Dylan Gabriel is honestly, everybody's talking about Ashton Johnny. I think Dylan Gabriel's probably, in my book, if I had to pick a front runner for the Heisman, I would say it's Dylan Gabriel. He's having a hell of a season. Kid's balling out. You got to give him all the credit in the world. Getting out of Norman has been the best thing that ever happened to him. Maybe Jackson Arnold will end up in Oregon, end up in Eugene. You never know. But so 14 points. I can see Oregon covering that. Yeah.
Yeah, I could.
I think that's
now. I would love for Wisconsin to step up on defense and keep it close and maybe sneak away with a win. But
I mean, mobile quarterbacks. I mean, Milroe tore them up.
Yeah, I know.
So
I didn't say I thought it was going to happen.
Yeah,
I would love
it to happen. That means
baby.
Yeah,
love for it's happening. But yeah, but 14 points, I think they cover that. Moving rapidly. Missouri and USC Junior. That Cox.
Really?
I hate worse or dislike worse. The Cox.
South Carolina. There's no South Carolina. There's no comparison. I mean,
yeah. Although after he did
Missouri is an annoyance. South Carolina's but South Carolina is an actual pain in the ass.
Yeah.
But South Carolina has gradually been getting better as the season's gone on, and Missouri's just been kind of. I mean, they barely beat Oklahoma. It took just the most insane fourth quarter, one of the most insane fourth quarters I've ever seen to beat Oklahoma. And South Carolina went into Norman and housed them. South Carolina, South Carolina housed the Aggies. The Aggies housed Missouri. So I'm actually going to pick. They've got South Carolina minus 14.
Yeah.
And
they're in.
And they're in Columbia.
The bad Columbia.
Is South Carolina capable of covering that spread? Absolutely, they are. Lenore Sellers. Yeah. I mean, Lenore Sellers has thrown half as many interceptions as he has touchdown passes, but then again, he's pretty damn dangerous on the ground.
Yeah.
He and Rocket Sanders both have been pretty consistent there. I'm gonna take Missouri to cover. I don't think they win. Something
so you think like a 10-point game?
Yeah. I think there's going to be a letdown somewhere.
Yeah.
And I think
now USC Junior can screw things up too.
Yep.
They are high on that
I mean,
quotient.
they're primed to have a struggle week, and I think this is probably it.
I like it.
All right, let's get it over with.
But I think USC Junior. I think they could. I won't say they won't grow 3 interceptions during the game, but I think Missouri is bad enough not to take advantage of that. And finally, Georgia. Finally. UT's coming to town to take on the Bulldogies, minus their big bad running back. You know what we will have? Our big bad running back.
Damn
Who
straight.
happens to lead the SEC in touchdowns and yardage.
I just made a quick last minute invitation to our buddy, the Mr. Richards, and he just read it, so hopefully he'll pony up here in the last minute or two of the show and make it.
So really, what we're saying, and I'm gonna try not to.
Oh, and he's pussing out. We just had a basketball game finished 5 minutes ago, and I'm on the way home, and I really need to get some sleep. Poor baby. Oh. Anyway.
What we're saying is Carson Beck is going to have to win you this football game.
Yeah.
Words you do not want to hear.
12 interceptions. 12 interceptions the last how many games? Last 4 or 5 games. I mean, 1.8 yards per carry.
Oh.
I mean, look.
That line has to
you could. I mean, let's be realistic. Could this be a get right week for Georgia? Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Does Vegas think it's a get right week for Georgia? Absolutely. Does Josh Pate think it's a get right week for Georgia? Unfortunately, I've seen anywhere from 24 to 40 Georgia, 24 to 20 Georgia, anything. The two things I will say is this: I'll say this is going to be a slog, and the first one, the 20 wins.
Yep.
And I think we'll hang 20. Love you, Mitch.
Carson Beck's gonna have to win you the football game. Ain't that a bitch?
I mean, look, let's be realistic.
Let's
say the Vols' worst nightmare happens and Nico doesn't play. Nobody knows that offense. No other player knows that offense better than Gaston Moore.
Or gas pipe, as Coach
refers to him. Yes.
Yeah.
So I personally, I mean, the kid's a game manager. Some of the best quarterbacks that played in the SEC in the past few years have been game managers. How Georgia like those step-toe Baggins? Game manager.
Oh, they're praying for him right now.
Hell yeah.
1 year
maybe they get him out of rehab. Get him a weekend pass from Betty Ford. In all sincerity, I actually hope he's doing okay. He's doing better than he has been.
We're better than that, is what I was about to say.
We are.
We're better than that.
So in all sincerity, I hope the kid's doing well. I really do, because he deserves to have a better life than what he's given him, what he gave himself at following graduation.
Yep. All right. We've had our fun. And
We
I
have.
do believe more fun is to be had this weekend as we watch our volunteers win. You ready for it?
24-16. I'm calling it. 24-16 us.
20-17.
Okay. Like I say, first one to 20 wins.
I hope it's not that close, but I can see
We
our
shall see.
boy making a few field goals and getting his swag. He's got his swagger back. He can kick a 50-yarder. Not to mention a 24-yarder. I think we got this. That defense is going to be after your ass, Carson Beck. They're coming for you. You ain't seen a defense like this all year.
Mm-mm. Nope.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, it's been real. It's been fun. It's almost our bedtime, and it's time for us to get the hell out of here. Be sure if you're in the Knoxville area and you need a trim, go see our friends Miles, Roberto, and Elliot, and of course, last but not least, our boy Max at the Pike Barbershop. Saw them at the game at our tailgate this past weekend on campus. It was really good to see those guys. They do excellent work. Go check them out in near the Sequoia Hills section of Knoxville. If you must throw things, and Texas fans, this is for you especially. If you must throw things at the stadium, make sure if you do throw a ball, it is the number one ball in golf Titleist. If you're eating hot dogs this weekend, I'm sorry. I just got to text from our buddy, the rational Mr. Richards. I just heard you.
Oh.
He's not happy with me right now. Love you, Robin. Anyway, if you're eating hot dogs or hamburgers or whatever delicacies you like, make sure you use the number one condiment in sports, French's yellow mustard, and wash it down with the manna of the South, Milo's tea. If you feel like donating to the cause, there are Venmo accounts on the screen. Everything and anything you can send us is greatly appreciated. But for now, we'll be back next week, getting ready, breaking down our hopeful victory against the Georgia Silver Britches and the Fighting Munsons, and getting ready to and welcome the miners from UTEP in the town on Senior Day, which we will be there for. Otherwise, we will.
Somebody's trying to get on here.
Oh,
Stop
hell.
the presses.
Oh, hell. Oh,
Who
no.
we got? We got
no.
an R.
Oh, it's got to be him. Did you pull over on the side of the road?
No, I'm on autopilot. I just heard a little quip about what you said when I texted you.
I knew I'd bait you into showing up.
Like literally, we had a long basketball game tonight, and the first team showed up late, and So anyway, you got me for a couple more minutes.
All right, we'll give a pick because we need to go to bed too.
Prediction.
What's that?
Give us a pick. Prediction. By the way, Etienne is out.
Yeah, I had a hunch.
They officially ruled him out about an hour ago.
And Nico's still in for now, right?
Nico is still listed as questionable, yeah. But right now he's still playing. That's the plan.
Okay. Is it still 9?
9.5.
9.5. Okay.
Yep. I'm taking the under, but yeah.
Yeah, I see us. Like you said, is this a get right game? Yes. Yeah, we got to get it right real quick and right fast. I don't see it being more than 9. I think a touchdown.
So you're saying you're saying we'll cover.
No, wait, Drim, wait. He's got to.
Georgia wins. Georgia wins. Tennessee covers.
Okay. Now we could up the ante. Now Robin and I have an annual bet every year. The winner sings the losers fight song. And the one before I realized he was coming on, I sent him a text questioning bets on. Now, if we win, I propose an alternate bet, and I'll let you do some research because I'm hitting you at the last minute, and I fully get it. And if you want if you don't want to do it, that's totally cool. I can't blame you. I think you should do a slow, instead of singing Rocky Top, you should do a slow jam to the song Rocky Top Rocks.
Rocky Top Rocks. Okay.
It's so bad.
I will send it to you.
Yeah, send me the link. I've never heard this one.
You can find it on Spotify.
I'm sure. I mean, I've heard the incessantly bad. I've heard the incessantly worse. I've heard the Dolly Parton, she gets a pass, and then I've heard the techno version that Mark Franklin once played at the 2000 game. But anyway,
and I would not. And honestly, just because I love you and you're my friend, I would not listen to that song in the car, even with the damn thing on autopilot, because you'll probably wreck. That's how bad it is.
I'll close the door during planning.
Just find a nice.
All right, well, gentlemen, I think we need to call it because it's 9:57. We all need to get to bed. Mr. Richards, Mr. Richards and I both probably have to be up at 6 o'clock in the morning to get to school.
Close enough.
Well, gents, it's been a pleasure.
It's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. Go Vols. We'll see y'all next week. Catch you on the flip side.
See you later, Vols.
Go Dogs. See ya.
Last word.
Bye.
Go Vols.
Go Vols. Rocky Top.
Side,